I'm going to show you how to do a few watercolor techniques. We're going to do graded wash, flat wash, and dry brush. So we're going to begin by taking a tube of watercolor paint and putting it into the palette. And then mixing some water into it. These are transparent paints, so you're always mixing water into it. You don't just use it right out of the tube. And if you're using tubes that students haven't used before, when you take the cap off, you probably see that there's a little metal there. There's a plunger on the top of the cap, and you pierce that piece of metal so that you can get the paint out. So first I'm going to do a graded wash, and a graded wash is starting out with a dark color and going to light, or starting out light and going to dark. I'm going to start out dark and go to light, and I'm going to start at the top with a few strokes with a loaded brush, and I have my paper up at an angle so it creates a bead at the bottom of my brush strokes. And now I'm going to start to get lighter. So I'm going to clean my brush each time, and you can see that I'm overlapping my brush strokes. I'm picking up that bead. So each time, clean your brush a little more. You do need to do this fairly quickly so it doesn't dry on you. You want a nice gradual change from light to dark. So where would you use a technique like this? Well, maybe if you have a sky that's darker towards the top and gets lighter as it goes down, or maybe a pond where it's lighter at the top of the water and then gets darker as it goes down deeper into the pond. So you can see that at the end here, I have very little color left in my brush till you just get to nothing. So your brush is pretty clean. So you want a nice gradual change. Next I'm going to do a flat wash. In a flat wash, you want it to be consistent throughout. Maybe you're painting the side of a building and you want it to look flat all the same. So this time I'm loading my brush each time and picking up that bead at the bottom of the stroke. And this you can pretty much go on indefinitely. And let's say this is where I want to end my flat wash. Then at the end, clean off your brush and then just pick up that bead at the end with a thirsty brush. And that's a flat wash. And finally, the last technique is dry brush. For this, you're going to need a bristle brush. This is made with stiff hog hair bristles. A regular watercolor brush has very soft bristles, like squirrel hair or camel hair. For this, you need a stiff bristle brush that are used for oil painting. And we're going to get most of the paint off on a paper towel. So get most of the paint off, and then Dab it onto your paper. You want to be able to see the texture. Where could you use this technique? To make things like bushes, trees, flowers, things like that. So you want to actually see the texture. You don't want it to be wet. That's why it's called dry brush. You do not want it to be like this. You want to see the texture coming through. And that's it.